Good morning. Hey. Um, Hi, Tracy. Welcome back. Hi, love. So I just thought this morning I would talk a little bit about, really what's up for me. Uh, and it, it's about relationships. Many kinds of relationships, of course. Um, you know, I'm in a men's group that I've been involved with. Good morning, hi. I'm in a men's group that I've been involved with for, pretty much full time for 20 years. And we meet once a week for 3 hours. It's not a small commitment. And, and I get there, as, 3 times a month. I'm there. I don't get there every week, but I'm there almost. And I have a relationship with those men, right? I mean, that's the purpose of the group, actually, is to have men in their lives, to not be lone wolfing. But things come up there, like they do in all of our lives around relationship. And many of us choose to lone wolf rather than face the uncertainty of vulnerability. Does that sound familiar? Many of us choose to lone wolf, and then when we're alone a lot, sometimes we get into self-pity. We're like, nobody likes me. Well, anyway, the beautiful thing about this group that I meet with is that we come hell or high water, and if relationships in the group sometimes aren't hi, hello, Rhiannon, hi. So if relationships in the group are sometimes testy, we're committed to be there, and we don't run away if it's uncomfortable, and we're there. And it's the same thing for me and my home group in the 12-step world. I'm committed to the group, and I have relationships there, and some of them are really fun and easy, and some of them are more difficult. But if I don't stay, I don't get the benefits. I don't get to grow in myself in relationship, and in my relationship with those people, so that's the beauty of long-term commitments in personal relationships. Sometimes is that we get through the tough stuff, and we get to see ourselves. And so much of what happens is when I'm hard on you, it's about me. It's always a reflection of how I am with myself and how I judge myself. And when I'm in my, living in ego. None of this, of course, happens when we're living when we've surrendered everything. We're living in the bliss of God's amazing hand. But in the world, when we're not, and ego is talking, talking in the head, then it separates us from people. Tracy says, I love wolves. Well, wolves generally run in a pack, and they're committed to that pack. The lone wolf is what I'm talking about. Wolves are very, what's the word? Yes, they're social, and they have a set of standards and that they seem to live by in the pack, and we're social. We're social creatures. I live myself in a home with a couple other fellas, and we've had other guys come and go, and so we're in it like a community in this house. Socials I think is important. I think it's healthy. We get to uh, to feel stuff that comes up, and sometimes it's the same stuff that we had when we were kids, and the stuff we ran away from, and so I think living together in community is great if the context is based on growth, on awareness, on consciousness, on relationship with the moment, the higher power, God. So I think we could talk for days about the different aspects of relationship and what happens, but look at where are you committed to being, in relationship with people. I missed we had a meditation group going on Monday nights, and I kind of missed that. Actually, I don't really miss much of anything, but I liked that. I liked that we got together, and we were committed to a process on one night of the week, and as a result of that, we began to build relationships. In a way, what is the higher value? The relationship with the moment, with ourselves, or the relationship with outside of us with people. And in a way, they're kind of the same. One's a reflection of the other. One's a reflection of the other. How I see you is how I see me. So being in the petri dish of life, I think it's connection is, and putting myself at risk, being vulnerable is important. Yeah. I don't have that whole outside thing. It's so multifaceted, but if we could have one thing that was the truth. By the way, crows are social beings as well. Listen to them. We hear you, and can you guys hear the crows? And so, if there's one thing, I think it's what would unconditional love look like? What would unconditional love look like in every relationship, in every transaction? I came into the yard today, and some of you may know I've been working on a garden here since May. And the one thing I was kind of hoping is the deer would leave it alone. And I came into the yard today, and the deer were here. Now, I love the deer. I think the deer are amazing. I'm very fond of the deer. But the garden trumped the deer. There was unconditional love, but it was for the garden. And I swished the deers out of the yard, So anyway, and the other thing I guess is don't take it too seriously. We're passing through. We're soon not here, and it's so easy for us to judge others and how they are in their relationship with us. Really, our responsibility is how loving, how compassionate, how honest are we with each other? Are we with others? And leave the rest of it up, to them. And then we're never in a victim place. We're never, judging them. We're just loving them. And yeah, anyway, that's it. Oh, I have to read. I think it's the...
I bet you I can smoke that guy with a rock.
Don't. Nathaniel's here, and he's got these thoughts. and they're maybe a little aggressive with the crow. Nathaniel, stuff that. Leave that poor bugger alone. He may be in a troubling relationship.
It's interfere with my unconditional love for you.
Oh, that can't be true. Can't be true. Okay. July 31st. Look at that. May, June, July. July 31st, thought for the day. This leaves us only one day. Oh, here we go, because he talked about the 2 days of the week that we don't need to consider, which is yesterday and tomorrow. This leaves us with only one day, today. Any man can fight the battles of just one day. He's a bit aggressive, isn't he? We don't need to fight the battles. I think every man can surrender to the situations of the day. Tracy said animals are unconditional. Now, remember, that's a projection. That's a beautiful example of a projection. I remember one time we had this guy come to teach or share with us. We're in Bali in '94. I was in this amazing group with Paul, and Paul had spent like 14 years with Osho and was his lead guy, and he brought a guy in to talk about projection. And he talked about an eagle sitting up in a tree and looking at us, and how our mind made up stories about the eagle. Eagle was mad because we had, taken too much of his territory. The eagle was happy because we were there, and often it was about us. It was really self-centered. So it's projections, unconditional for an animal. When you say unconditional, it of course, in a way, they just be. They're just there. There's none of our projections on them, and I think that's what we want. That's how our natural state be, a state of love and unconditionalness. So just watch where we project. I even did it with the deer this morning. I didn't want to make him unhappy. Excuse me. Anyway, projection. It's interesting, the mind, and to catch the mind whenever we can when it's doing its thing, so we become more conscious of it. And as we become more conscious of it, we pay less attention to it. We see it come up with all kinds of shit. And who he likes me, he doesn't like me, or fuck, who knows? It's crazy. So, here we go, back to the reading for the day, thought for the day. And Tracy, I love your comments. They're awesome. This leaves only one day, today. Any man can fight the battles just one day. It's only when you and I add the burdens of those two awful entities, yesterday and tomorrow, that we break down. It is not the experience of today that drives men mad. It is the remorse and bitterness of something which happened yesterday, or the dread of what tomorrow will bring. Let us, therefore, do our best to live by but one day at a time, as I live one day at a time. Am I living one day at a time? So the dread of tomorrow, it's all in the mind. It's not true. It's just all in the mind. That's all. It's in the mind. Meditation for the day. Give God the gift of thankful heart. Try to see causes for thankfulness in everyday life. Now I see that if we're going to be grateful for everything. When life seems hard and troubles, when life seems hard and troubles crowd, then look for some reason for thankfulness. There's nearly always something you can be thankful for. The offering of thanksgiving is indeed a sweet incense going up to God throughout a busy day. Seek diligently for something to be glad and thankful about. You'll acquire in time the habit of being constantly grateful to God for all his blessings. That's what I've been saying, yes. And for all his blessings. Each new day is each new day some new cause for joy and gratitude will spring to your mind, and you will thank God sincerely. Prayer for the day. I pray for a truly thankful heart. I pray that I may be constantly reminded of causes for sincere gratitude. Wow. That sun, you guys. A beautiful day. Sitting in the yard. So, a couple of quick things. Um, I'm open to meeting again in person. I'd love to have any one of you, all of you, come to visit at different times. If you're not into big crowds, just come and spend some time. We just sit in the yard and talk. I'd love that. If you've got this far in this video and you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the page. We're kind of building our little YouTube page, and I'd like that. Thank you. If you're not on YouTube and you're watching this on Facebook, we're on YouTube at Valley and Beyond Project Awakening. Valley and Beyond Project Awakening on YouTube. So, life is good. Life is amazing. Life is a gift. That's it. Love you guys. Talk tomorrow, I'm sure. And thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.